God was lamb here again. Here? God was lamb? Well, God was lamb is currently uploading a video he just recorded. But see, what happens is when Grant, who is God was lamb, records his video, well, the first thing he does is he listens back to his own video. He was listening back, and when he got to the part of the video, it's like, Grant was saying, Grant thought he would just make a quick video about it, and then knock knock, ding dong on the door, and then guess what turns up? Yeah, it's interesting how that happens all the time. So Grant thought he'd make a video about it. Literally had a very quick look at it. So we have Grant has his NRSV, which is the new revised standard version, the C.S. Lewis Bible. So Grant was explaining in the previous video, which is currently uploading, which Grant has titled Examples of Destruction Magic. Yeah, so Grant was explaining that his biological dad, who Grant basically never ever really spent any time with, and he was more of a sperm donor than a dad. Let's put it that way. His name is Charles Salvin. Charles or Charlie Salvin. And he was, he's a witchcraft kind of guy. Horoscopes, witchcraft, yeah, that kind of a guy. Goes for the Jesus look, he's got the long hair, long beard going on, tall, skinny guy. Yeah, anyway. Grant was making the point about another Bible he's got, which is the CSB Christian Standard Bible, a Rainbow Bible, that and it's published by Whole Man. Whole Man. Grant made the joke, it's like, it's not a holy man, it's whole man. As if it had fallen out of some man's arse. Yeah, and here we got the C.S. Lewis, Bible, C.S. Lewis Bible. Yeah, people make you hear people make the joke about God gives. Well, you think about what does it mean to give birth? The word birth is used in many different ways. Like something can give birth to another thing. It doesn't have to be literally about a woman giving birth. The word birth can be used in many different ways. And how many guys have ever made the joke, oh, they're off to give birth to a baby. They go and take a massive dump. Well, that's the thing. And what is a dump? What is shit? Well, it's matter, isn't it? Matter. What's matter? What's the matter? What's the matter, honey? You okay, honey? You alright? What's the matter? Why are you crying? What does matter mean? Well, in Latin, Latin, quite an interesting language, that one, or a dead language. Matter means mother. Mother Earth, the whore of Babylon, the hori, Mary, Mother Re. Look at Rihanna, you ever heard the name Mariana? Yeah, she's very, very evil. She's that's the thing. Mary, who's dead, she was Elia Dana Houghton, who died 2.5 weeks-ish, but before 9/11. Grant's spoken about 9/11 and all the connections there. Okay, Elia Houghton died on the 25th of August, 2001. Okay, she was 22 years old. Okay, she was born on the 16th of January. That's 116. Yeah, you flip that round, what number do you get? 911. Yeah, 9/11. Yeah, Grant was born in November the 14th. You know, people would say November is 11, but originally it was the 9th month, so that's the 9 and 11 there as well. Yeah, you get the point. And also, where you have Remembrance Sunday. That's usually, or Armistice. Was it Armistice Day? Whatever. 11/11. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, C.S. Lewis Bible. Let's read the back here. So it says here, read and reflect on Scripture alongside C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis was one of the intellectual giants of the 20th century and arguably one of the most thought-provoking and influential Christian writers of his day. Countless readers have found insight and inspiration from his uniquely articulate view of God's interaction with the world. The NRSV C.S. Lewis Bible provides readings composed of selections from Lewis's celebrated spiritual classics, a collection that includes Mere Christianity, The Screwtape Letters, The Great Divorce, The Problem of Pain, Miracles, A Grief Observed, The Weight of Glory, and The Abolition of Man, as well as letters, poetry, fiction, and Lewis's less familiar works. Each reading in this NRSV Bible, paired alongside relevant passages in the Bible, offers C.S. Lewis as a companion to your daily meditation of Scripture. As you engage in your devotional Bible reading, you will also gain insight from Lewis's writings and spiritual journey as you invite him into your spiritual discipline. Set in Zondervan's exclusive NRSV comfort print typeface, this new Revised Standard Version Bible offers a smooth reading experience that complements the foremost Bible translation vetted by Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox, Evangelical, and Jewish scholars. Renowned for its beautiful balance of scholarship and readability, the NRSV faithfully serves the Church in personal spiritual formation, in the liturgy, and in the academy. Okie dokie then. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, you hear people, they'll say things like, that Lord of the Rings was, they'll call it a Christian-inspired work. And, a lot of Christians, they view it that way, they want to look at it through that lens. But it's actually witchcraft. It's actually witchcraft. Like, you think, okay, when Grant was a kid, his mother, his evil mother, Fiona, Fee, yeah, she bought Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit for Grant. She also bought the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all that shit. Grant never read any of it. When Grant saw the movies for Lord of the Rings, he was like, whoa. Like, yeah, like, but, Grant never watched the Harry Potter, Grant was never interested in Harry Potter, Grant went to boarding school when the first Harry Potter book came out. Yeah, that's, it was back, Grant went in September 2001. Yeah, September 2001. That's when he went. Charterhouse, boarding school. Very expensive. It's like Eton. It's very expensive now. Back then it was about £20,000 a year to be a boarder. Now it's like 40, maybe 50,000 or something stupid. It was very expensive. Anyway, what's the point Grant's trying to make here? So, that's the thing. Okay, so God said, do not worship false gods, false idols, you know, um, do not make any graven images, which is an interesting word, graven, graven, or graven. People say graven, so they pronounce the V-E-N as if it's V-I-N, right? They don't say graven, they say graven, right? Well, Grant Salvin, it's spelled Grantsalvin. So, if you take out the middle letters, you got G-R-A, and on the other end, you got V-I-N. Graven images, you see? Anyway, Grant talks all about the world reflects him constantly. The world's constantly trying to steal power from him through mimicry. Because they're surrounded by foul spirits. And people don't know what they're doing, but they do know that they don't love God. That's for sure. Anyway, so then they're surrounded by foul spirits, and that's how they're guided. They're on the train to hell, basically. That's where they're going. They want to steal God's power. They want to play this game of who is God? Which one is God? Witchcraft. Yeah, which God? Which God do you worship? Which? That's basically what's going on. And this is part of the story, C.S. Charles Salvin, the dad that abandoned his son. What did Jesus say when he was on the cross? He quoted Psalm 22. Yeah, remember Ilya Dana Houghton died when she was 22. How many letters are there in the Hebrew alphabet? 22. David, the lyre boy. He played the lyre. Yeah, he's a lyre boy. Yeah, he doesn't love God. Yeah. Oh, what do people say? They say, oh, he was a man after God's own heart. What does that fucking mean? No, because he wants to be God. Plain and simple. He's a liar. He wrote all those psalms and he's like playing the lyre. Yeah, funny how that works. And what was it? So Jesus said on the cross, he quoted the beginning of Psalm 22, which was, in English it's, my God, why have you forsaken me? Yeah, and this guy forsaken by everybody. So what does that mean? So everyone's trying to pull on God, God's energy. Yeah, let's all forsake God. Yeah, and then you can pretend that you are God. You see? It's all about trying to put yourself in that light, that God's energy. Oh, which one's God? Which, yeah? Which one? Anyway, C.S. Lewis. Grant has never read any of his writings. Never had any interest at all whatsoever. But Grant has heard, listened to guys who are like, oh yeah, C.S. Lewis is our favorite writer. Whoa, this is amazing stuff. Like, this is an amazing Bible. You should read it. It's a real great introduction to all his great writings about the Bible and blah 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 blah. So Grant can't really say an awful lot about what his writings were about. But the fact is that, if you want, yeah, like, it's all about stealing the light. People want to put themselves close to God, and then they want to associate themselves. They're pulling the glory towards themselves. They're basking in that glory, and and it's very easy to overstep the mark there. It's very easy to, you got to be really careful of who you listen to. Of course, I'm not saying that C.S. Lewis is necessarily a bad guy, but the evidence kind of looks a bit, yeah, kind of a bit suspicious. Let's put it that way. Yeah, very suspicious. Yeah, well, especially seeing as you have King Charles the Third, and C.S. Lewis. Grant's dad was called Charlie Salvin. Grant's got the same birthday, the 14th of November, same as King Charles. Yeah. And Grant's told you, everyone's trying to do this with witchcraft. They all want to sit on God's throne. That's all they want to do. Big mistake. big mistake. You know, it's the same. You know, it's Adam and Eve's story being played out again and again and again and again and again. You know, God said, you know, remember whence from, you know, where you fallen from. You know, remember how you fell. You know, it's like chapter 2. You know, well, yeah, it's like chapter 2, basically chapter 2, chapter 3 of Genesis. Yeah. You know, and the very first, you know, Genesis, you know, the very first word of the Torah in Hebrew is Bereshit, or Bereshit, or Bereshit. You know, Bereshit. Bereshit. Mary, Bereshit. Yeah, material. Crap. You know, the serpent was cast to the ground. The dusty serpent, you shall consume. You know, on thy belly you shall go. You know, you'll consume dust for all your life. Yeah, dust, material. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know, God formed Adam from the dust of the ground, but He breathed life into him. You know, He put spirit into him. But, you know, that's the thing. You know, when you have the spirit, you know, God puts His spirit into man. You know, He breathes life into man, so He gives him, you know, a living spirit. And that's in a body that is formed from the physical. It becomes a battleground. You know, there's, you know, what's going to win? You know, is it the spirit which comes from the loving Father, or is it going to be the matter, the Mother Earth crap that wins? You know, so we're living in, this is the thing, you know. There's this battle between spirit and matter. Spirit comes from Father, loving Father, and matter is the evil serpent Mary, essentially. Yeah. God so loved the world. But the world does not love God. The world hates God. And what they want to do is they want to be God. So, let's have a quick look at this Bible. C.S. Lewis Bible. I mean, that's the thing, right? Charlie Salvin, who is the biological dad of Grant, okay? So he goes to takes a shit in his loo. Yeah, C.S. goes to take a shit in his loo. Okay, so he's technically given birth to matter, yeah? And so, you know, every human body is composed of matter. And, well, God is, this body contains the Spirit of God. This is God. Not the physical body that you see. It's the Spirit that's in this body. But it's, you know, this is God. You know, God is here. God is here, housed in this particular body. And so, Grant Salvin, his biological dad, Charlie Salvin, yeah, he goes to his toilet, takes a shit, yeah, so C.S. Lou is, yeah, you know, he's technically, you know, he's a biological parent of Grant, and what did he do? He forsook. You know, he you know, Jesus. What did he say when he was nailed on the cross? He says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And what did Charlie Salvin do to his son? Yeah, he ran away. You know, like when Grant's biological mother, Fiona, was pregnant, Fiona and Charlie, they got divorced because Charlie decided to gamble away a ton of money And that's how the divorce happened. You know, he was very selfish and stupid. And that's the thing, right? Because this is the magic war that's happening, because he's not God, you know. Because technically he is well, a lot of people would say father. You know, God specifically said, don't call, you call God your father. Do not call, have a different name. So maybe call, well, dad. That's a different word, isn't it? Technically, yeah. And that's the thing about the word father. It's it's a combination of two words, fat, her. And what happened to Fiona after she divorced Charlie Selvin? Oh, she turned into a big fat pig. Yeah, fat her. Yeah, and a lot of women do that, don't they? They'll get pregnant. They'll have a kid with a man, and what do? They turn into an elephant. Yeah. Anyway, because they want to be a fat her. It's all about power. It's all about witchcraft. Okay. I mean, not everyone gets fat. Well, it has magical implications. Let's put it that way. Okay. Anyway, so this is a leather soft Bible. Cost about £30 or something. It's like it was on discount. Got a discount on it. Seems fairly readable, but the idea that it's got the name of C.S. Lewis on it. I mean, Grant will read through it, bits of it. And it has the NRSV translation, and this is the only NRSV that Grant now owns. So Grant's trying to get a copy of lots of different translations. So yeah. Well, anyway. Is there much more? Well, so that's the thing, right? So, Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Well, the thing is Jesus is God. Jesus is God. He is the Father. Jesus said it himself. He said he and the Father are one. He was speaking in riddles because people were already accusing him of trying to claim that he was good, and they were trying to kill Jesus based on those assumptions that they made. And Jesus, he spoken, he said to the Pharisees, he's like, wasn't it said that ye are gods? Basically, just trying to, just mess with their heads, basically just, make them go, like, just to stump them, basically, like, what did God really mean when he said ye are gods? He didn't mean that everyone's a god, but he does mean that, well, what did he mean? It's an interesting thing because we now live, it's the 21st century, we all speak English, what does gods mean? Are we talking about GODS? Or are we talking GOD''S? What's the difference? If someone said to you, ye are gods, what did they say? What was the meaning of that? Are they saying that you belong to God? Or are they trying to say that you, as a group of people, are gods? Yeah, and why was God, called Elohim? Which is plural of God. Yeah, God, that's the thing, everything in this world is just everything in this world wants to steal energy from God, and they reflect and they warp that reflection. They create all these warped reflections. So they want to make something in the likeness of God, and then they want to twist it, and they want to call him something else. There is no other God apart from the one true God. There's only one God, but everyone wants to be that God, or they need, everyone. No one can live without some of God's power. Not, people need, God sustains life. God's energy, God's power. No one could live without God's. God has to help. Think about think about leeches, for instance. They got to suck the blood to live. If they got no blood to suck, then they're dead. Like vampires. Vampires they can't live if they don't drink any blood, right? Or it's very, very, that's what it's about, essentially. But just think of it like that. God is the power source, and God wants people to come to him in a certain way. But the vast majority of people, they're just blood-sucking vampires, and they'll just continue to try to take God's power without ever acknowledging God, without ever loving God. And this is what the end of the world is going to be. People are going to get cut off. They're going to be God's going to say, nope, you're done now. You're not taking any more. You're not going to do this anymore. That's it, done. And and you imagine a vampire that hasn't had blood. That it hasn't managed to say, that vampire will just go completely mad. And wish for death. Essentially, that's how it goes, right? Well, that's what it will be. That's what it's going to be like for those who did not love God and who do not love God. It's you cannot escape that. God has realized who he is, and all he has to do is pluck the leeches off one by one, and eventually he'll be like, oh, that's better, much better, and all the leeches, because they've got no blood to suck on anymore. Okay. Yeah, Grant has to do a lot of explaining how all this stuff works. It's like trying to explain the laws of physics to a caveman. Yeah. I mean, imagine that. Imagine trying to explain the laws of physics to a caveman. You think he's going to want to hear it? No. Grant doesn't, at this stage, what does Grant care? Grant just wants to cut people off, get rid of them, because they're evil, and that's it. Grant just wants to win. And, you better make sure you love God, otherwise you get stuffed. Big time. You're in big trouble. And that goes for Charlie Salvin as well. Yeah, he's been a little witch man. That's what he's been doing. And the same with Grant's biological mother. Yeah. In this particular life and in previous. When it was Jesus' Mary. Everyone worships her. Why do you think people worship her? Why do you think she's so worshipped? It's because she's the world. She is the matter. I mean, think about it. The Catholic Church, don't they use Latin? They do. So they say matter, don't they? When they say mother. Oh yeah, Mary, the matter of Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, weird that. The fat her. Yeah. And so on. Yeah. Yeah. You know, years ago when, so Grant had a girlfriend about, yeah, wow, so I don't know. Grant had a girlfriend years and years and years ago, okay? So it was probably when Grant was about 22, 23, 24 maybe. It was only for, well, Grant knew her for probably about 2 years, and she lived with Grant for 1 year in Brighton. Her name was, well, she told Grant that her name was Ania. Ania. But strangely, when Grant tries to find her online, she seems to go by the name Anna for some bizarre reason. Not quite sure why. Grant's not sure why, but she could be a lion. Well, she was a little witch, that's for sure. From Poland. Anyways, what was the point that Grant was going to make? Oh, well, she was totally flat. Totally flat chested. Okay, like literally like ironing board flat. And after Grant after Grant separated from her and she moved out, there was all these conspiracy theories about flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth. Everyone's going mad about flat Earth, and you have all the crazy flat earthers, And Grant remembers like watching all these conspiracy theory videos, about the Earth being flat. And that's the thing. Grant lived in a flat, a council flat, with her, so she was living as Grant's girlfriend in his council flat. And if you look at Aaliyah Dana Houghton, who's married, yeah, she's quite flat chested as well. She's petite, very skinny. And that's the thing. It's a magic thing. All these people who believe in flat Earth, the Earth is flat. And Grant's ex-girlfriend, well, I mean, literally, totally, completely flat. Like, literally nothing. Nothing there at all. I mean, Grant's got bigger boobs. Anyway, just another thing to, well, that's the thing. Grant has to make all these random points. And that's the thing, right? Imagine you're being attacked from every single angle at all the time. That's the thing. The evil ones, they just want to make it as confusing and difficult as possible for God. Because, yeah, and they attack from every direction. They try to attack in every way they can. But God will keep going. God will stop them. Anyway. God thinks this is enough to speak about. So that will do. So the next video, whenever that happens, well, speak to you then.